We're 1 hour, 30 minutes in. There's no
Hi. Sorry about that. Um, what's up, people? Happy whatever the fuck day it is. What is it? What's today? Sunday? Happy Sunday. Let me get a glass of cranberry juice. So today we are we're finishing the part 2 of my recent debate I did with Rachel Wilson on Occult Feminism. I already reviewed the first half. So tonight we will be reviewing the second half of my debate with her. And the first half was like pretty much the whole debate, the actual debate. So tonight we're gonna watch the call-ins and the super chats. So yeah, if you want to watch the actual debate without me talking over it, it's on my channel. And if you want to watch part 1 of me reviewing the actual debate portion of the video, then that's also on my channel. That was my last live stream. But first, let me get a glass of cranberry juice. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh, okay, sorry. Did I just unplug something? What made that noise? Oh god. Okay. Just kidding. Technology hates me. Anyways. Let's get started, shall we? So, I did this to myself last time. Well, I had no choice last time, but... So, this was my first 1v1 one-on-one debate. It was my first debate, or my first panel that had, like, I don't know, like a couple thousand, over 100 viewers. I've always been on, like, smaller lives and stuff, so I was a bit nervous. What the fuck is doing that? What is doing that? Okay, sorry, I don't know what the fuck it... What the fuck? Okay, sorry. I have no idea what's doing that. Hopefully that won't continue. Anyway, so yeah. This was my first, like, one-on-one debate. I was very nervous. And I've realized that I hate, like, reading to an audience. I've always known that. So I got, like, really nervous during my opening and my closing. I don't know why. So, again, because I forgot to go over the closing in my last video. We're gonna have to watch my closing now, and I'm gonna be cringing a lot. Hey, Hurricane, what up? How are you? So yeah, for the first couple minutes while I'm listening to my closing, don't mind me just cringing a little bit while I listen myself. But otherwise, let's just get started.
Never a great time to end a debate. Unfortunately, we do have to get into closing statements so we can get to all the callers and so that we can get to all of the super chats. Now, just so you guys know, after closing statements, we do consider the debate done. Moderator will often ask a couple of questions before we move over to callers and before we move over to the super chats. Though we
That's
consider this
good.
portion of the debate closed after the closing statements are done, that doesn't mean that there still won't be back and forth and there you did the first opening. I'm going to give you the last word, Ghosty, on this. So I'm going to let Rachel close first, and I'll give
Just
you
sped it up a little bit.
the last word in your close. Go ahead, Rachel, when you're ready.
Yeah, so this was actually fun and interesting. I actually am thankful to Jayne that she came and did this. It's not easy when it's your first time and it's on a big channel, and she took on a big challenge. And so I have a lot of respect for her for that. And she was very like cordial and professional about the whole thing. So kudos to her for all that. That being said, I think that we kind of demonstrated here that her worldview is kind of inconsistent, a little bit incoherent, and that she couldn't demonstrate like a coherent pagan morality or any type of coherent system that she would like to see, or like she kind of just had a little bit of a critique of mine and then just hey, let everybody do what they want. If the lesbians want sisters want to get married and the dude wants to be naked in the neighborhood, it's fine, that sort of thing. So I do think that I was able to demonstrate that feminist ideas come out of occult and pagan religions because of their goddess worship element, because of their rejection of Christianity and patriarchy, and that the only thing that has allowed.
She didn't demonstrate that. She repeated it over and over again, just saying that, but she did not demonstrate that. And if anything, I gave multiple examples of text from, um, like, uh, like Wiccan tenants and pagans themselves and stuff, and the original first wave feminists saying that men and women are like a balance. They're like the yin to each other's yang. They are complementary to each other, and they don't see one higher than the other. So she did not prove that. And I think I proved her wrong, if anything. I could have focused on that a little bit more.
Feminism to become this default setting, this illusion that we all live under right now, is this technologically advanced world that allows women to think they're equal with men, they can do everything men can do. Where in reality, if you put Jayne on a construction site and told her she had to run a 200-pound jackhammer all day long for 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, she's not going to be doing that. Okay. She's not going to be running power lines. She's not going to be working in the timber industry, and she's not going to be like, building airplanes probably tomorrow. The fact that a few women can do some things that men can do does not indicate in any way that women should have power or authority over men. It does not demonstrate that the prior order.
Wait, and again, this is all pointless because back in her patriarchal society days, the men that were running things, running infrastructure, and building things weren't the men in power. They weren't the men voting and making decisions and things like that. So this argument that men are stronger, so men should be able to be political leaders, it doesn't correlate to what to to reality or to her argument. Like that just doesn't. It's not a concise argument by her own logic.
Of all of history was somehow inherently bad, immoral, or wrong. And I don't think she proved that. I not demonstrate that the prior order of all of history was somehow inherently bad, immoral, or wrong. And I don't think she proved that I'm like some wild conspiracy theorist who's misrepresenting the occult or paganism and its role in feminism. So that's my closing.
All right. Appreciate the closing statement. Over to Jayne. Go ahead when you're
Oh
ready.
God, cringe time.
Are you doing okay over there, Jayne?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay. Yeah. So for my closing. Um, sorry, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna read some from some feminists and then some like Wiccan texts and stuff, just to like further trying to show like my beliefs and my moral values and why I don't think that this occult cohabitation with feminism is evil or hating of men, and why I do think it is a conspiratory view to have this like occult feminism perspective that Rachel has. So Mary Wollstonecraft from The Vindication of Rights of Women in 1792, wrote, "Let there be no coercion established in society and the common law of gravity prevailing. The sexes will fall into their proper places. And now that more equitable laws are forming your citizens, marriage may become more sacred. Your young men may choose wives from the motives of affection, and your maidens allow love to root our vanity." I think that as a feminist, one of the very early feminists, saying that is very beneficial for men and women. I don't think that's hating men at all. I don't think that's anti-marriage. I don't think that's anti-children. I think that's the complete opposite. And there's many more like texts like this throughout. I read one earlier from Katie Stannon saying that men and women, you know, they're complementary to each other. So all these feminists were not man-hating women. They did not believe, not all of them believed in the dissolution of marriage. Many of them had many children. We also have to take in consideration when we think about the evils of abortion and birth control and stuff. I forget her name exactly right now, but Margaret Sanger. Her mother, her mother had 18 pregnancies and gave 11 births, and she was the one to like start the Planned Parenthood stuff and all that. I'm sure she had issues of her own, but these things weren't coming from a place of evilness or like free love and sex and power over men. I just don't think that is it. I don't think Rachel has proven that or displayed that in any way. And finally, I'm just going to read 2 of the tenets from the Wiccan principles. We do not recognize any authoritarian hierarchy, but we do honor those who teach respect, those who share their greater knowledge and wisdom, and acknowledge those who have courageously given themselves in leadership.
No, I am not
And
single.
then lastly, calling oneself a witch does not make a witch, but neither does heredity itself, nor the collecting of titles, degrees, and initiations. A witch seeks to control the forces within her himself that make life possible in order to live wisely and well without harm to others and in harmony with nature. Seems that those are like the core fundamentalist beliefs of most without control. A witch seeks to control the forces within her himself that make life possible in order to live wisely and well without harm to others and in harmony with nature. Seems
Without harm
that
to others.
those are like the core fundamentalist beliefs of most spiritual religions. Wicca, paganism, spiritualism, all the mysticism. They're very peaceful, positive, all loving, all inclusive, just beliefs. There's nothing evil about them. Sorry, I really hate reading. Okay. And then lastly, my grandmother too. She's 89, and I'm her oldest granddaughter. She pulled me aside like one day recently, maybe like a year ago, and she was like, "You're so lucky to grow up in the way that you have so many opportunities and so many chances, and I really love seeing you like blossom into the person you are, and it's so great seeing like my granddaughters being able to live in this world." So, you know, your grandmother might have a different perspective, but there were women who felt oppressed by the patriarchy, old ways of living. Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so nervous.
That's it.
So cringy.
All right. Appreciate the closing statements. We have callers stacking up on the back lines. While they do that,
Okay.
just very quickly, I have some moderator notes.
I got
just
it
2
out.
very quick questions for both of you. We'll try to get through it very fast so that we can get to everything. First, over to you, Jayne. Do you believe that magic works?
I do. Yeah, if you do it correctly, I do. Also, I just want to say thank you for having me on. That was part of my closing statement too.
Hey, Harry.
Yeah, no problem. So if magic works, and you make a distinction between white magic and black magic, if you were to do a spell on your garden to make it grow better, would that be white magic or black magic?
To make it grow better. So I guess my intentions is what matters. So if my intentions is to, I believe you have a lot of responsibility when doing magic. I think doing it silly-willy is very dangerous, and I don't suggest that people or encourage people to just go practice and try magic and get crystals and things and just do things without.
Would it be
knowing
white
what they're
magic or
doing.
black magic?
If my intentions are good, it would be white magic.
Okay, now let us assume for a second that there was heavy rainfall in your area, specifically over just your area, your home, and a few neighbors' homes. And your garden did indeed grow extremely well. But unfortunately, it caused an avalanche in your neighbor's yard, all of this rainfall, which buried his garden. Was that still white magic or is it now black magic?
It would be white magic that had a negative consequence. And usually when you do magic like this, you add protection spells and things like that to prevent, you know, negative consequences from happening like that.
But if
So
I'm
if
not
the negative
there, that's just
consequence
'cause I've
happened, are
been
you
busy
responsible
with
for it?
moving and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, would you go over to your neighbor's house and pay them for the damage to their property?
Yeah, I would do what
You would?
if I caused something. If it was that devastating, I would do something.
Do you believe there's ever been a witch who's ever existed?
Wait, I don't know why that's so crazy. So, like,
say there's a situation where somebody is building something. Say they're just like building a fence. Or no, say they like plant a tree and it ends up, the roots end up like where they planted, the roots end up like growing under someone's pool, or they grow in someone's power lines and they like mess up, they damage someone's property. It could be anything. Say you build a structure, you plant something, and what your actions of building that structure or planting that tree damage your neighbor's property, you would pay for it, right? Like, you would pay for it. I don't know why that's so crazy. I guess the point is, like, if it's done by magic, you don't know why it happened. But I don't know. I feel like most people who practice like magic and stuff like that, or just like spiritual people, tend to be very like kind souls. So I just don't think it's that crazy to like pay for damages. Like if you damage someone's property, like you're probably going to pay for it. If not, they're going to sue you.
Who did a spell with unintended consequences and went and paid compensation to their victim, honestly?
Who has?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, where? Have you ever met even one?
I mean,
have you ever had an unintended consequence to a spell of yours and then gone and paid compensation, been like, the reason that this happened is I did this fucking spell and fucked it up. My protection magic didn't work, and so I fucked your shit up. That's on me. It was my magic. Have you ever done that even once?
I mean, that's never happened. I've never caused anybody.
How do you know?
Because I know what spells I've never done anything to that level. So.
Well, I mean, how do you know about the unintended consequences?
There are some. I don't know. It's hard to explain. This is just like real life. How do you know about your unintended consequences? Unintended consequences can happen all the time. You don't need to be like practicing magic or like be a Wiccan to have unintended consequences. But unintended consequences are something to be taken very seriously, and that's why what if you pray for something and God grants you your prayers and there's some unintended consequences? A really important part of spell casting is being very specific with your words and using your words very wisely and not allowing for any nuance or variables when you're spell casting.
So just a quick follow-up. In pagan land, if we had your kind of version of pagan world, would people need to offer compensation to other people for when their magical spells went awry?
If they could offer their help or their assistance, yeah, if they cause damage, then yeah. So
what if their spell unintentionally killed somebody? Could we give them the death penalty and perhaps burn them at the stake?
I wouldn't burn them at the stake. That's called manslaughter. Your actions can unintentionally kill somebody any time of any day. It's called manslaughter. But a death
I mean, does it
penalty,
seem justified to if you did a spell and it led to the demise of like 4 people? Does the death penalty seem at that point justified, or at the very least life imprisonment?
You would have to be I'm pretty sure I met my boyfriend long before we ever met Hurricane, but but yeah. Sorry. But yeah, I remember you sent me a message on Twitter. I thought you meant like, I don't know. Never mind. Okay. Powerful wish. And
I agree. But it could happen, right?
If you're doing that on purpose, then definitely like the death penalty. If you do it by
when
accident,
Christians burned
it's like
witches,
I guess it's like manslaughter.
So then by this logic, if Christians burned witches because they were able to demonstrate proof that the spell was hurting other people, they were totally justified, right? And you know that they were justified because magic exists, right?
Wait, what?
So if I could demonstrate, or Christians could demonstrate, that a Wiccan spell led to the demise of multiple people, maybe it killed their cows or something like this,
he didn't,
right?
Though.
Yeah, but if you could demonstrate it, you would be justified in burning witches, right?
If you were if they could prove that these witches had ill intent and were maliciously killing people and stuff, then sure, I think burning people at the stake is a bit like inhumane. But sure, for the time, I guess that's how they did things back then.
Okay, got it.
But they couldn't prove it. They weren't.
Yeah, they weren't proving it. They weren't. They were torturing women who weren't witches at all. And they were torturing them to the point where they were like just saying like, yes, I'm a witch, because they literally had no other choice. There's tons of like research on this. Yeah, I don't know that situation, Hurricane. I don't know the whole situation. So
wanted to make sure. Now, there's some people in the chat who are wondering. They're like, "Can you moderator debate?" Yes, fucker, I can, because when it comes to the moderator Q&A, that's part of the show. It always has been on the Crucible. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out of here. How many times do I have to tell this to you people? Get the fuck out of here. The other 3,200 live viewers are not going to miss you. They're not going to miss you. Get the fuck out. Now, over to Rachel. I had a pointed question to you as well. What is for dinner?
Well, I was going to ask if now that
I don't care. I don't care about your woman proud.
Now
over
the
to the chat. I'm done with your proud. Your mic's muted. Muted. You're muted. Unbelievable.
I thought muting was bitch shit.
This sort of talking back, completely unacceptable. Totally.
I said that because backstage before the debate started, Andrew was saying, he was giving like the debate rules and stuff, and he was like I really don't like muting people because muting is kind of bitch shit. So that's why I said that.
Totally unacceptable. Okay, so the real question that we get into, I didn't actually hear criticism when you guys were having kind of your back and forth. It was brought up, democracy was brought up, and this sort of tiered choice of if you do no wrong or what is considered harm to somebody else. I didn't really get a clear picture as to why that's a bad model. Why would that be actually bad to just have a model for society, not to invade or cause harm to somebody else, and that's the standard we go with?
Well, because first of all, there's, to my knowledge, when I've debated these kind of like utilitarian or consequentialist people, they try to come up with some bizarre calculus to determine harm. And like kind of the exchange you just had with Jayne highlights why you can't always see the like unintended consequences of something and how that might cause harm. So
like in real life,
what's harm to them might not be harm to us. And so you need something that's more objective than this like subjective idea of harm. So for example, you've made the argument before that if a trans person wants to be called she when you don't believe that that's a biological female and you feel that you're being forced to lie, that could be causing you harm as a Christian. They don't see it that way, right? So it's like this idea.
Well, let me quickly follow up with you.
Jayne doesn't think it's harmful to let the lesbian sisters get married.
Yeah, but let me quickly follow up.
Doesn't think it's harm.
Yeah. Let me quickly follow up with this. Let us envision for a second that there was a society that the rapture happened and all Christians were gone. Okay, Christian society instantly crippled overnight, whatever remnants there are. And through, I don't know what hocus pocus, there are no more Christians. They don't exist. Absent Christian ethics, what mode could people go with other than consequentialism that would make sense?
Me?
Well, I mean, you could go with utilitarianism, but is that the same?
That's consequentialism, yeah.
Okay, because some people say they're different, but I guess you couldn't, but that we don't live in that world. So, and if you had a world where there was no Christianity and for some reason we had no 10 Commandments, we had no Christian universal morality, I guess you probably, I mean, that's why the pagan world did human sacrifice, right? Because it was kind of a free-for-all and it was kind of there was none of that. So
Wait, what are the 10 Commandments? Let's look them up. Oh my god, okay, this is something I wanted to talk about. So in Louisiana, the state governor just passed a bill mandating all public school classrooms to have the 10 Commandments posted in the classrooms on a poster from kindergarten to state-funded college classrooms. The ACLU already announced their plans to sue. I think that's crazy. I think that's wild. Okay. Because the reason I'm looking at the 10 Commandments is because I feel like they are consequentialism. Kind of. Let's see.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay, never mind. It's not. It's not consequentialism. The first commandment is thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Anything you worship more than God is a graven image. Cars, clothes, sports, even our jobs are dangerous things to worship because they can go away. But God will never go away, and that is why it's best for us to only worship him. So basically the first two commandments are like the same. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Okay, so the first three commandments are don't disrespect God, I guess. Remember the Sabbath. Are these even the 10 commandments? Yeah, these are. Okay. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Wow, these are worse than I thought, to be honest. Okay. 5. Honor thy father and thy mother. That's a good one. That's a good one. And I believe that's pretty innate. I believe that's innate within us when we're raised by our mothers and fathers, that we honor them. We love them, we honor them, we respect them, as long as they're very, like, even like children who are abused by their parents tend to still love and respect their parents, like, unconditionally, to a fault. I shouldn't say unconditionally, but to a fault. So I'd say that's, like, pretty innate within us, which was my argument. Number 6. Oh, my lucky number. Thou shalt not kill. That's the best one, too. Again, I think that's pretty innate. And that's consequentialism. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Again, consequentialism. You're hurting somebody else. You're lying. Thou shalt not steal. Same thing, consequentialism. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. This one is about honesty. If you lie to someone, you are being a false witness. Yeah, so don't lie, basically. Again, consequentialism. And then 10, thou shalt not covet. Covet means to be jealous of something someone else has that you want it desperately. I guess that's a good one. But jealousy is also it's not a sin, but jealousy is the equivalent of a sin in Wicca, too. Jealousy is not, you shouldn't be jealous. Like, using magic with the intention of, like, not being jealous of somebody, or using magic to cure some kind of jealousy, like, that's bad. That's like black magic shit. So yeah, there's nothing. Thou shalt I think you meant thou shalt not kill. You said thou shalt now commit murder. I'm pretty sure you meant to say thou shalt not commit murder. But that's kind of funny. The original Hebrew text is actually thou shalt now commit murder. No, I'm just kidding, though. I know you meant not. But that's interesting. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. These aren't that, like... And the fact that Louisiana just passed a bill mandating that this has to be posted in all public classrooms is crazy to me. Okay.
I think you would just have like an Aztec or Viking society, and oddly though, they did not go with consequentialism, did they? So I don't know. I couldn't tell you what would be the second best thing, because I think they would all lead to pretty bad stuff.
Okay. I appreciate both of you answering my questions very quickly as we move into the call-in section.
Oh,
The based
God.
Albanian, who I haven't seen in a while. How you doing, man? How's life
So
treating you?
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Did
Alright.
you already eat your garbage dump dinner tonight, buddy?
Yeah, yeah. I went and I caught a few ferrets actually.
That's fair. That's
I had
the Albanian cuisine of choice, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I had a very important question for Jayne. Do you get your theology from the back of a cereal box or from TikTok Reels?
I don't have TikTok. I've never had a TikTok. So if I had to choose from the two, probably cereal. But
That checks out.
I eat a lot of cereal.
Okay. I just, it makes sense because you kept appealing to things like good, and then you go, well, Ishtar and the winter solstice. And I never read a book on theology in my life. And yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't even know where you get that. So, what is good?
It's a pretty nuanced question. I think that depends. So
Yeah, but you
I
kept
don't
using
think
it
I
in the
was
debate. So,
saying-
what is
I
it?
feel like
when
did I say that in the debate? That's why I asked him. I was like, when did I say that in the debate? I wasn't saying like this is good.
I use it specifically?
You brought up
know?
good quite a few times throughout the debate, and you kept appealing to what is good. So I'm
What is
asking
harmful?
you, what
I think
what-
it's more so. I think
answer?
it's,
Can you answer the question without a question? What is good?
No, that's what I was saying. I was saying I think I was appealing to more what is harmful, not what is good. I think we all know what's harmful. I mean, again, like it's like pretty nuanced, but when I say harmful, I mean like not like, oh, you hurt my feelings. I mean like literally like you're stealing from somebody, you're hurting somebody physically, you are wronging somebody.
good is not harmful.
What is harmful?
Harmful is something that affects other people in a negative and painful or suffering type of way
Okay, why is that not good?
because it's hurting other people.
Yeah,
and basically,
why is that not good? Like, for what reason is that not considered good?
because pain and suffering is bad.
What is bad?
Okay, so
You keep appealing to so many different things.
that's why I
Bad,
said
what is
it's very nuanced.
You
but
got to wrap it up
basically-
very quickly here, based Albanian. One more question.
Basically,
feel
my
like-
moral belief system is that do unto others what you want done unto you. The golden rule, Girl Scouts.
Oh, yes. The golden rule. Shove the crystals up your nose and then call it a day. Okay, that's fine.
All right, thank you, based Albanian. I appreciate.
And again, I explained this last time. So, like, do unto others as you would want done unto you, or whatever, isn't like a direct, like, literal exchange. So it's like, I used this example last time. Like, so I like blueberries, okay? My friend who's coming over to eat doesn't like blueberries, though. So just because I like blueberries doesn't mean I give her blueberries, but it means I give her a food that she also likes. It doesn't have to be blueberries, right? I wouldn't want to be given a food that I don't like, so I'm not going to give somebody a food that they don't like. It doesn't have to be, I like blueberries, so I'm going to give you blueberries. It's, I like to eat food I like, so I'm going to give somebody food that they like.
Very much the call in. Very kind
Can
of
I add
you.
something
Have
to
a
that
great
really
walk,
quickly?
by the way. Have a great walk. It was nice to see you, buddy. Shane, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead when you're ready.
Yes, sir. My question is for Jayne. Since a consequence of feminism is a decrease in birth rates due to things like independent women ideology, fewer and fewer nuclear families, and then abortions, how can feminism sustain a culture, country, or nation?
I don't think abortions can be a result of, well, I guess technically, no. I don't think abortions can be a result of feminism because, first of all, birth control, contraceptives are a result of feminism. And since there have been contraceptives, abortion rates have been going down. We have hit like historical lows in abortions, and they have been steadily declining since the early 1900s, if not earlier. So, yeah, I don't think we can say that abortions are a result of feminism because abortion rates are steadily and have been declining and have been at historical lows with a few slight alterations, like a couple upticks and stuff here and there. So if he wants to say that contraceptions
contraceptives are the issue, then that's a different argument. If we know what is harmful, the question is why. What is the objective standard? If there's no objective standard, good and bad are relative and can mean different things to different people. Right. That's why I don't think I was using good and bad throughout the debate like he said I was. I might have said bad a couple times, but I really don't think, I don't know. I really don't think I did. I know we just rewatched it, so I guess I should have been paying attention for that. But I think we all understand what is harmful to other people. And again, I'm not talking about things like, oh, you hurt my feelings, or like, oh, you don't believe in God and I do. That's harmful to me. No, I mean like, oh, I'm gonna rob your house, or I'm gonna kidnap you, or I'm gonna kill your dog, or I'm gonna not let your children go to school and get an education, or I'm not gonna pay you for the work that you're doing for me. These are all things that interfere with our well-being and daily lives. Like that's why racial slurs aren't illegal, right? Because sure, they're harmful, but I guess in some places they are illegal, but I don't believe that they should be. I don't believe they're right. I think they're bad, but I don't think they should be illegal because I know hate crimes exist, and a hate crime is fair because you're harming somebody, like you're being attacked for a specific reason, like a specific superficial feature or whatever. But that's different than getting called a racial slur or getting catcalled or something, right? So getting catcalling is like bad, but sexual assault is illegal. One is bad, one is harmful.
Long term.
What the fuck? Why is it rewinding? What just happened? What's happening? What the? Oh, I'm playing it at 31 times speed. Okay. Let's lower that. Why don't we?
Women ideology, fewer and fewer nuclear families, and then abortions. How can feminism sustain a culture, country, or nation long term? What's stopping it from literally dying off?
I don't think feminism is the consequence of those things. I think there's other factors that are causing those things that I don't think is related to feminism.
Well, that's provably untrue because we see that to the extent that we put women in higher education and career is the extent to which the birth rate lowers. The birth rate began to drop before hormonal birth control or abortion. Part of it, some of
Well, maybe we should start talking about paid maternity leave for the United States. But second of all, I don't even know if that's true either, to be honest. I'm pretty sure like the most I don't know. I have to look into that.
A little bit of it was technology, but we still had a birth rate, an average of 5 babies per woman at the turn of the century. It dropped like a rock when we pushed women into higher education and the workforce in the 70s. And it's pretty widely agreed upon that that is the actual like cause of lower birth rates. Like
okay. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with the economy, and I think people are just getting. I think people are having children later, and I think they're having children later for the right reasons.
primary. There's multiple causes, but that's like the biggest correlate.
Well, I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think feminism is gonna be the cause of the end of society, because women are having children later, and it's not just women; it's everybody. Everybody's having children later, and everybody's having less kids.
Also, I don't think lower birth rates, or at least like later in life birth rates, or just lower birth rates are that bad or harmful, anyways.
Well, maybe short term, but I mean, long term, the birth rates have to keep up with population growth
for the economy or for
humanity.
Just because we can't replace the baby boomers doesn't mean that we won't be able to.
Right, but if more people are dying off than are being born, eventually that number of population is going to go down and down and down over time.
Maybe humans are freaking pests and termites to this world anyways. It's just natural. It's nature's.
That's just such a stupid thing. Like, birth rates can drop and then they can rise again, and then they can drop and then they can rise again. Just because our birth rates aren't replacing the baby boomers right now, it doesn't mean that it's just like the end of society and humanity. I don't know. And honestly, yeah, nature's gonna take its course. Like if we got to the point where, if we seriously got to the point where we were not having enough kids, say there was like fucking, what, like less than 100 people, like less than 1,000 people left on Earth or something, are we just gonna start forcing people to have kids to keep humanity going? Are we gonna start raping people to keep humanity going? I wonder, like, I mean, maybe people would just be willing to, so it wouldn't be rape, but that's a question. I just don't think it's something, I just think this whole birth rate thing is so blown out of proportion.
Of course, honestly, so whatever happens, happens.
Mama Earth will decide, right?
Only army I would fight for, Team Earth.
It might fuck up the economy for like a little bit, but I just think we're gonna figure it out. It's all gonna stabilize out, like.
Okay. Jayne, did you have anything else?
No, sir. That was it. I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you for the call in. Really quick for Jayne, I have this Mary Wollstonecraft
Nothing is static.
Quote here. She says, "No man chooses evil because it is evil. He only mistakes it for happiness, the good he seeks." What is evil? What do you think the evil is that Mary's talking about? What is she appealing to, do you think?
What was can you read the sentence again?
Yeah, no man chooses.
And this is great too. Like, she's saying men aren't evil. Rachel, who is her whole argument about occult feminism, is that these feminists are men-hating women that only wanted feminism for power over men. And here is Mary Wollstonecraft saying that men aren't like choosing evil for evil because men aren't naturally evil.
Evil because it is evil. He only mistakes the evil Mary's talking about. What is she appealing to?
I'll let him repeat it again.
What was can you read the sentence again?
Yeah, no man chooses evil because it is evil. He only mistakes it for happiness, the good he seeks.
Yeah, so she's basically saying that men aren't choosing evil because they're evil, because men aren't innately evil. He's choosing it based on basically.
Yeah, but what do you think she thinks evil is the question.
Probably ego. You're choosing money, selfishness. Yeah, it's ego.
Do you think
Yeah, you're choosing money, selfishness, over community, over the better good of others. There I said good. I think we can understand, like, when we say these things, like right and wrong, like obviously not objectively, but just generalities good, generalities bad. So when you're speaking in generalities and you're choosing selfishness over the betterment or the good of others, that's gonna be evil. I mean, it doesn't have to be evil, but it's selfish, and it's probably going to be wrong unless there's like a greater intent or purpose behind it. And that's why this shit is just kind of stupid to talk about without having any context, like context or like specifics.
Think that it was grounded in Christian ethics or concept of evil?
Wait, what?
Or do you think it was grounded in Wiccan ethics?
What do you mean ground?
Her
What was
concept
grounded?
of evil. Do you think
Oh.
that she got the concept of evil from Christian ethics or Wiccan ethics?
Probably Christian ethics.
So your appeal to her as being one of the best feminist voices around, she's not appealing to your ethical system, though?
Well, I haven't read a lot of her works. I just found a couple quotes and stuff. But I don't like appealing to my ethical system. Like Wiccan wasn't even around. Wicca wasn't around when she was born. I should have said that. She seemed to be pretty based. But what was it?
It doesn't matter. I was just curious
Okay.
about it. Adam, go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, I actually normally I like to come in with a series of questions, but I actually really don't have that many. But I do have a few things. So do you know, Rachel? Have you read Radical Spirits? It is a book on the feminist movement relating to spiritism in, I believe, the 1800s.
Yes.
Okay.
I have not the whole thing, but I've read large chunks of it. I think I reference it in my own book.
I'm going to be
remember
honest, I
right.
haven't read it. But I listened to a guy.
Okay.
That's a massive L, Adam. Massive L. But anyway, go ahead.
I have an audible. But basically, so first of all, there's evidence to suggest that Easter was actually named after a pagan god, Ostre, not Ishtar, Ostre. The only reason we know about Ostre is because of the Venerable Bede, who is a pre-schism saint, who mentions her one time. Also, it's worth noting, yeah, you can't just say, oh, there were solstice, people like celebrated the solstice, therefore Christmas is actually a solstice
Everybody
ritual.
focused
That actually
so
just
hard
doesn't
on
track
this.
at all.
No.
Like all of these different
Oh my
cultures
God, I
have
just
different
used it as like a fucking little mini example, and like a third of the percent of the call-ins like focused on this one little minor detail that had nothing to do with the debate.
solstice
Adam, you got to
rituals.
get to a question, bro.
All right. Yeah, so question is, Ghosty, are you familiar with any of the spiritist beliefs regarding child death?
No, I probably not.
I would highly recommend you read Radical Spirits. It talks about this. You're talking as if there's no connection between abortion and the sort of these people being pro that and early feminism. There is, and that's one of the things that's talked about in the book Radical Spirits. The view is based on Gnosticism. You got a children who's sinless, dies, goes up. The children then acts as a replacement for Christ. This is anti-Christian and pro-abortion. It's baked into the theory. Radical Spirits is the book for this.
All right, Adam.
That's all.
Thank you for the call. Did you want to respond to that, Jayne?
I just don't think that's relevant to modern day abortions.
All right. I appreciate it very much, Adam. Have a good day. I'll wrestle you, Andrew. I don't know what you're messing with, bro, but put it down. Put it down. You got to put it down. Come on. All right. You got to keep the devil's hands busy. That's fair. But anyway, go ahead when you're ready.
All right. This is sort of a question for you and Rachel. I noticed it in the
Or is R something OR? Oh, rape? I'm assuming you meant to type rape because the because the O is next to the P and the R is next to the E, so I think you just mistypoed. Okay, so if rape, or is rape always objectively wrong regardless of the circumstances, and if it is always wrong, how can we determine this? Yeah, I mean, like, unless you're gonna get into some crazy shit, like, if you had to rape one woman in order to save 10 children, but, like, that's just, like, not reality. Like, rape, and even if it was, let's just say that, okay, let's say that's the thing. If you had to rape one woman to save 10 children's lives, is rape wrong? Even if you choose to rape that woman in order to save those 10 children, it might be the right thing to do, but rape is still wrong. So, even though you might be making the right choice to save those 10 children, that doesn't mean that that rape is right. Right? Rape is still always wrong because you're taking away someone's consent
someone's will. You're overpowering someone's free will and doing something to them very intimate and also damaging physically and mentally, that can have other consequences as well, without their consent. So yeah, so rape is always objectively wrong. It might, even in these crazy imaginary scenarios, if it's the right thing to do to save 10 children, that doesn't make rape right.
The Dave Smith debate, that you often use incest as an argument tactic, and it's the kind of thing where I can make a logical argument for it, and it's pretty easy to do so, but for a regular viewer, the ick factor,
It's a hypothetical, though, Jayne. It tests logic. These are philosophical questions. Yeah. No, I'm just like going over them out loud. And I like the philosophical questions. Just to, I hope I'm not sounding like rude or something. I'm just trying to, I don't know. This is nothing against. Hey, oh my god. Oh my god. My god, I'm blanking your name. I know who you are. You're from We Met on Tony's show. Oh my god. But hey, hi to you and your wife. I'm so sorry I'm blanking your name right now. I feel like it starts with a T. It's like on the tip of my tongue. But hey, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you and your family are doing very well. It's good to see you. Dusty. Yes. Okay. It had a T in it. I was wrong. It's good to see you, Dusty. I hope you and your wife are doing very well. I miss you guys. We had some fun times.
grossness is like, it doesn't matter, that you still emotionally lose the argument with the audience. So
yeah, so it's designed to be that way for a reason. You, Andrew, I don't know what you're messing with, bro, but put it down. Put it down. You got to put it down. Come on, right? You got to keep the devil's hands busy. That's fair. But anyway, go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, this is sort of a question for.
Thank you. I am doing well. Okay, Harry said, you were the one who brought it up in regards to propagating the species if we were nearing extinction. I was just curious what your response would be. Yes. No, I knew that's what you were referring to. Yeah, I still think rape it's just like these. I still think if we had to rape women in order to keep our species going, I still think rape is wrong. But I don't know, like at that point I don't even know. I feel like there would be women maybe just like volunteering, so it wouldn't even be rape. But yeah, I think, yeah, I guess that's just like my answer to that.
For you and Rachel, I noticed it in the Dave Smith debate that you often use incest as an argument tactic, and it's the kind of thing where I can make a logical argument for it, and it's pretty easy to do so. But for a regular viewer, the ick factor, the grossness is like, it doesn't matter, that you still emotionally lose the argument with the audience.
Who's Dusty Rhodes?
So
yeah, so it's designed to be that way for reasons, because if people mostly intuitively feel that there's a problem with it, even if they can't articulate what the problem is, then they should reevaluate why it is that their moral system would lead to that outcome.
Well, I think
like that's why. Do you understand why I pointed out that Jayne was fine with the guy sitting naked in the yard as long as his dick was soft, you know, and why I chose the lesbian sister? It's to get to the presuppositions. It's to get to the foundation, and you know, cool story, bro. Like, you don't like it, but that doesn't make it not a valid argument. And there's plenty of people, I've talked to people who have said, once I realized this disconnect, I realized libertarianism could not be my position because I can't justify my morality.
Yeah, I think it's basically like there's other parts of it which I think maybe the people who
why would he be
felt
good
that
in bed
way weren't
then?
aware about the neurophysiology.
I don't get
brothers and
it.
sisters, for example,
Never mind.
do not. They're not attracted to one another, and that would indicate, if you saw a brother and sister that way, that there's something severely wrong with their brain.
So the intuition then would be that they shouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, well, the intuition is correct. Even if
so if the intuition is correct that they shouldn't do it, then why would we want a society where they're doing it?
That's what I'm saying. It's an innate it's an innate set of morals.
It's not, well, it's not innate, or people wouldn't do it.
It's instinctive.
No, it's not instinctive, or people wouldn't do it.
Why did we need laws to say you can't do this if nobody was ever going to do it?
It's not instinctive. In order for something to be instinctive, everybody has to do it. I don't think that's true. Okay. No, yeah, I don't know who he is. That's why I said I just don't get the joke. I'm just gonna yeah, I don't get it, but I just don't think that's true. Like, we could say, like, eating is instinctive, right? I think we can agree eating is instinctive. We have an instinct to eat. But we still have people with bulimia and anorexia. That doesn't mean that we need to make eating a law just because some people don't do it or don't want to do it.
Clearly, people have done it
because Christians were.
Are you guys aware? No. Are you guys aware?
Dating each other.
No. Are you guys aware of the rates of incest in the Muslim world? The rates of inbreeding and incest in the Muslim world? Are you aware of it?
Scary.
The Mormon world.
The cousin marriage.
Yeah. So clearly, you need a moral foundation that tells you not to do things, even if most of us think it's gross. There's people who do gross things.
That's a religious set of.
Yeah, I'm not arguing for all religion. I think Islam is a heresy. It's a demonically inspired religion. So no, I'm not.
But even within the purview of their religion
is good.
Most Islamic ethicists would also say the same thing, that this is immoral, even if it's allowable.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not.
Well, and that's what I said.
Yeah,
well, are you a libertarian, or are you just saying there's better ways to argue against libertarianism than what we do?
I've actually started to refuse labels, but I'm partial to a lot of libertarian ideas. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that. I was disappointed with the way Dave argued it, and I'm like, well, you should put somebody in jail for doing something like that, but we don't have to associate with them at all.
Yeah, right. Like, but that was my. But I think that gets to the crux of the argument. But we'll have to talk about it another time. Thank you so much for the call in. Have yourself a great evening. Grid One Motorsports been waiting patiently. Go ahead when you're ready. You gotta unmute yourself, brother.
You're muted.
There, you gotta unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself, bro.
Mute.
Yeah, unmute yourself on StreamYard. There you go.
Sorry. I apologize. I do that so that I don't sound loud or something in the background. Ghosty, is it? If I got that right?
Yep.
Okay. So, where does the patriarchy fit into your worldview?
Oh, man, I looked up the definition of patriarchy earlier, and I
had to look up the
definition
of patriarchy.
I just want to be precise with these things because lots of people use these terms and they have different meanings and stuff. I guess
the definition is just rule by the father.
Okay, so yeah, I just don't think one sex should be ruling of another.
But you're a feminist.
Yeah, I consider myself a feminist. Yeah, feminism is gender equality.
Well, there's no such thing. So how do you balance this?
So as I was trying to say earlier, like nobody's equal to anybody. There are no two equal
Okay,
people.
so if nobody's equal, how do we?
But we can be equals. But just because two people can run the same distance or run the same speed or have the same IQ or be from the same family, nobody is equal to each other. We all have different capabilities and abilities and contributions to society. So we are equals in that sense.
But how do you balance out life? The entire reason behind the patriarchy is because the men are the strong providers and the women are the soft nurturers. That's your role. And historically,
you think that's true?
And even your Wiccan belief believes that this is so. So how is it that you are not a fan of the patriarchy, and how do you explain this imbalance? How do you
Because
reconcile it?
because I think the patriarchy is the imbalance, and I don't think most women are naturally nurturing and super soft and just ew, little girly, polite little things. And I don't think most men are just super
Well, you're just
violent
adorable
and
to think that.
aggressive. I think that these gender tropes and these old traditional gender roles and norms are hurting men today more than anything else.
So your
Really?
outfit, you're wearing a halter top
Family
and
court, domestic violence, yeah.
Yeah, when I say that, again, I've said this so many times, but I think a lot of these old gender things, like these old gender norms and gender stigmas and stuff, are the things that are hurting men today. The things that, like, the MRAs are complaining about and stuff in divorce court, in custody battles, and women getting preference in custody and domestic violence cases, women always being believed, men being falsely accused and stuff, because we have this false perception about, oh, women can't be abusers, like, oh, women can't hit men, or women are better mothers because they're female. These are old gender stereotypes that are hurting men today, and I just think it's funny that a lot of the same people who are trying to fight these things are the same people trying to keep these old gender tropes and gender stereotypes that are the same things hurting them. That's what I meant by that. I don't think being a woman, being a female, automatically makes you a better parent. Or I don't think that being a man automatically makes you more likely to be an abusive person in a relationship. I think they're, like, women are just as likely to be abusive. I do think, obviously, they can't do as much harm as men can. But I've known men who have been through crazy shit. I know a man who was stabbed by his girlfriend, stabbed with a knife by his girlfriend. I know a different guy who was ran over by a car that his girlfriend was driving. Actually, it was the mother of his child was driving, and she hit him with her car. So, yeah, we can say, like, men are stronger and men typically do more damage, but that doesn't mean that women are totally not dangerous and not abusive sometimes.
You have long hair, you have a halter top, you are very much in your feminine role. So how do you reconcile your belief if this is not what you present?
I'm wearing a shirt and I have long hair, so
I can be... I don't get this point either. Like, because I look like a woman, I'm not allowed to think that men and women should be seen as, like, equal people. Like, oh, guys, did you know that if you believe women should vote and that it's okay for women to work, that you have to dress like a man now? Like, what the fuck?
feminine?
Well, I would not say that there's anything masculine about your appearance.
And
yeah, no, female to male domestic violence happens a lot more often. Also sexual abuse. Men get sexually abused by women a lot more commonly than we think. And sometimes it's like different types of sexual abuse and stuff, but it happens. Men have been raped by women. This is a thing. But yeah, I don't know why just because I dress like a female because I am a female and I look like a female because I am a female, that means that I can't support feminism. That doesn't make sense to me.
I'm a female.
I just think that you have
That's
a very skewed viewpoint, and there's no balance, and you are in denial about the reality that men are men and women are women, and men are meant to lead and women are meant to submit. And unfortunately, until you reconcile that within yourself, you're probably going to be fairly unhappy.
I'm very happy.
Hey Red, what's up? Paganism has extremely patriarchal roots, and feminism is also tied to central bankers. You should use that in future debates as someone who disagrees. Paganism might have extremely patriarchal roots, but I wasn't arguing about ancient paganism. I actually wasn't arguing about paganism at all. The whole debate was about feminism's ties to the occult and whether or not the occult pushed feminism into society in order to corrupt and ruin society and take over the church and basically like destroy the church, because that's what Rachel believes. That's what she wrote her book about. That's what she believes, and I think she completely misportrayed and mischaracterized that, because even though they did grow together, it wasn't to destroy the church and to take power away from men. Thanks, Dusty. Also, accusing people that they don't know of sexual harassment. Yeah, right? Like, women are more likely to be believed. Like, women often use this, maybe not often, but women will use that as an advantage, that, like, police officers are more likely to, like, there will be women who will hurt a guy, and then she'll be like, well, you can't go to the police, because she'll just, like, punch herself or give herself a bruise. And then now, the police might believe her, even though she was the abuser. And that's what I'm saying. It's these old gender stereotypes, these old gender norms and these old gender roles that we have, like, oh, well, men are abusers and women are the only ones who get assaulted and things like that. Those are the old traditional gender roles and stereotypes that are hurting men today. That was my point. And I also read, I was looking into the central bank thing and the like Jekyll Hyde club and all this. That's something I need to deep dive into further. Maybe I could see them having ties with the central bank and feminism because women wanted, their paychecks in their own name or something. I don't know. That's something I have to look into. Defending the early 1900s occult is not a good idea. I disagree. Instead, you should show how it was corporate and financial elites who pushed it further. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I could definitely see that. I could see, like, so that's something I could see. I could see the corporate and financial elites, doing shifty, shisty things and then using the occult as basically their fallout guy. Like, they're gonna pin it on the occult instead of them or something. I don't know. Yeah, I was starting to look into the whole Jekyll Hyde club, the whole meeting and everything. And but that was like a whole nother thing, and I didn't think it was that relevant to the debate. And I'm in a very happy relationship. Just got an apartment with my boyfriend.
Okay. You have a boyfriend? Okay.
Yes, I see men and women are different.
Good one. We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah. I will yield my time. I made my point. I will see you guys later. Enjoy.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Grillin, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, how's it going? My question is directed mostly towards Rachel. You said witches were twos and could not find the men they wanted, lonely outcasts from society, creating ultimately, within 50 to 100 years, a society that we have now, ruled by chaos. And this immediately made me think of a current situation we have amongst men, the MGTOW and incel community, if you want to call it that. Yeah. And I'm curious if you think in the next 50 to 100 years that there's going to be an overcorrection into the side of order with the upcoming AI technology in AI girlfriends and AI bots that do favors. And Jayne can chime in if she wants, but I don't know what you think of that.
If you say that corporate and financial elites push feminism, that would mean it wasn't an organic grassroots movement. No, I wasn't saying that corporate and financial elites push feminism. I think later they might have, but no, not like the first wave, and not the very early original. That's not what I'm saying. Maybe closer to second wave with Gloria Steinem and whatever, all that shit. But I don't even think, and they weren't pushing feminism for the sake of feminism. I think they were using feminism, if anything. but they weren't pushing feminism. I think they were using it.
About that.
Are the sex robots going to take over, bro?
Yeah,
Is that the question?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one possibility. I always say I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but I know that the current situation is literally not sustainable. So, like Jayne said, she doesn't care if there's less people. She doesn't care if humanity dies out. By the way, she has 8 out of 8 women now who have told me in a debate that when asked this question, that they don't really care if humanity dies out. So they're not man haters. They're just people haters in general. They just don't like humanity. Mama.
It's not that I don't care. Of course I care. Of course I want humanity to strive on and survive. I'm just saying that, like, if it comes down to the point where it doesn't, like, I mean, that's just nature taking its course. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, of course I don't want humanity to end. Like,
Earth, we got to save Mama Earth, all this ridiculous nonsense, all this Earth Mother worship
well, yeah,
garbage.
we do have to save the fucking Earth. How can we have humanity without Earth? Duh. The fuck?
No, we're already seeing supply chains affected by population shrinking. There's a bit of a delay because of lifespan, but by 2050, this is going to start to hurt pretty bad. We already have places like Japan where they are providing incentive for people to have assistance in, euthanasia. And they are now paying passport bros to come and fertilize Japanese women. So that's a thing. And Canada also has MAID, which is medical assistance in dying law that they have there, because once you get more people in diapers that are elderly than you have babies in diapers, things start to go very badly. You're going to have supply chain problems. People are going to start to starve. Eventually, it's not a good thing. Everyone's just had this Malthusian overpopulation propaganda for the last 200 years, so they think people are hurting the planet. It's not true. So the sex bot thing could.
I mean, yeah, technically corporations are hurting the planet, but
quite an effect. I don't know. I just don't.
It's not overpopulation. It's the way corporations are running.
Know which will come first, but I do think it's going to sort itself out one way or the other. It's going to either be painful or really painful. I don't think it's going to be.
But yes, Red. That's something I'd be interested to talk about with you more. And I'll look more into that myself too. But I'm curious about that.
Fun for anybody when things start to correct. So.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, have a good one, Grillin. Take care of yourself, bro. Spyro, been waiting patiently in the background. Nice background, by the way. You know what Spyro did? He went like this. He went, I can't figure out the right background, so no fucking background. He just nuked the whole background. Fair enough, Spyro.
You know what my problem is? My problem is that I take things too far, and I could have easily TOS'd you with a bad background, and I just went, nope, I'm noping out of that early.
That's right, noping out. Anyway, go ahead,
hard nope, not going to TOS your channel. Okay, Ghosty, is there a hierarchy of powers of sorts? Like, could one witch have more powers than another witch?
Yeah, she can, but that other witch who has less power could get to the point of having equal power or more power.
Okay.
It's within all of us, yeah.
Okay. So let's assume for a moment there is a witch who talks with Mother Earth. And Mother Earth says, I need you to summon a meteor. We need to unalive everyone on the planet because I have had enough. I can't deal with this. And I'm going to give you the power to do that. And the witch goes ahead, begins the spell casting, and now a comet is headed for Earth. Now, maybe Ishtar or some other god or through some other process, somebody talks to you and goes, hey, Ghosty, Mother Earth don't be liking humans right now. I'm going to give you the power to stop this comet. And the only way to stop this comet is you have to build an idol to Ishtar and put a little hole in it and then start up a fire and round up 100 babies and sacrifice them. Now, you're both well-intentioned because on the one hand, Mother Nature's talking to you, trying to save the planet. On the other hand, you're also trying to save the planet. Of the two, which one would be more powerful and why?
Which one would be more powerful? The killing the babies would probably be more powerful and much more evil though. But it's kind of like if you guys have seen like Harry Potter, it's like the death of the unicorn, like Voldemort has to like take a soul to have more power and stuff. Like that's why they had human sacrifices. I mean, it sounds silly, but like human sacrifice and is a
Did
very
your entire
powerful.
magic system come from Quidditch, Jayne?
No, it doesn't. I'm just using it as an analogy. Okay. But like that's where they got it
Can
from.
you teach me a spell that does 1d6 damage?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, so here, let me explain. Okay. So like I'm out on a hike in this back trail, okay, right behind my house. I always wear my armor of the paladin, and I generally have a sword which has a +6 enchantment, usually for frost damage. As I'm hiking back there, a horde of orcs come out. They're rushing me. Okay, and the problem is that they have a +10 Thaco. So I'm not sure that this sword is going to penetrate, and I need to know, can you give me an enchantment to put that +2 damage on that sword so that I can get through their AC rating, or can't you?
the real questions.
I don't play D&D or whatever
What
this
kind
is.
of fucking witch
so-
are you? What kind of witch are you? What kind of witchcraft is this? It's,
Okay,
it's unbelievable. All right.
I think I've
appreciate
proven
it.
my point. I think I've proven. I'll leave you. See
All
you
right,
later.
see ya. Have a good one. It's dungeon prattle. Someone called it dungeon prattle.
Nerd battle.
Nerd prattle. Yeah, that is kind of like Brian's World of Warcraft thing. Well, I guess it's fine to rip one thing off of whatever, right? I think that's okay. Okay, so that's the call-in section. We're gonna get into super chats now. Let's go through those guys. Hang on, I got to start all the way back at the beginning here. By the way, to all those who became new members, we really appreciate it. Sean gives 10 Crucible memberships. Okay, can't put that one up there. Well, here we go, says Sean for $20. Appreciate that very much. Noah R for a whopping 200 says, I'm bored. What's this debate about again? Well, it was about how to send me $200.
Harry said, let the comment hit us, Jayne. It's just time. TikTok is proof that the human race has run its course. You know, I can't argue. I can't argue that. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not killing any babies to, like, yeah.
If you're bored. Steve says,
But also, Mother Earth, this is what, this doesn't make sense about the hypothetical either. This is just stupid, but, like, how would Mother Earth be saving the planet by sending a comet? Well, I guess you could send the asteroids, have a 6 mass extinction, and then just start all over again.
for $50. Agnostic here, but I appreciate the diversity of discussion. Love the Wilsons. The word appreciates both of your intellects. Cheers. I'm enjoying a Boston Lager cherry wheat in the debate. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying it, man, and I appreciate the $50. Risol sends in $20, says off topic, but happy Father's Day, Andrew. All fathers out there. Yes, I know it's tomorrow. And also, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Let's get the Crucible to 100K subs. Looks like we're right about there. We're just under the threshold. This old lady, $5 says, yeah, like so. Now, Jayne, I think that it's possible that this person could be poking fun at you.
Like, really?
Really?
I don't know.
I think perhaps. Mini Fresh for $20 says classic Plato's Ship of the State. It's kind of funny. Justin for 5 Crucible memberships. Appreciate that very much. Zero Fallout says, only when a nation is powerful, safe, with excess resources can women complain and bitch about problems that don't exist. We were not the first, and we won't be the last to experience this. Jayne, do you want to answer to that?
Say it, reason women complain about problems. We were not the first. Sorry, hold on. I'm like not comprehending this. Oh god, my like unwillingness is really coming through right now. When a nation is powerful, safe, with excess resources, can women complain and bitch about problems that don't? Oh, so like basically only in first world nations feminism can exist pretty much.
Yeah, that women aren't going to be complaining about the problems of the world until men make them comfortable enough to complain.
That's the same for everybody. It's not men and women. It's elites and everybody else.
Okay. Sean for $20 says, never seen Andrew go this long without a cig. You training finally? Yes, I am training, but there you go. Just to make you happy. There you go. Sean says, nope, I was wrong for another $20. That's right. Already proven wrong. Jadolf does 5 Crucible memberships. Appreciate that very much. Noah R for $50 says, we got 2.8K watching right now. Rookie numbers, ladies. Get the stream up to 1,200 likes and I'll buy 50 memberships. And by the way, he did just that. 35
Yay.
Colorado for $9 says, Andrew, this is for the book Stop Smoking by Alan Carr. Just read it, please. It works. All you have to do is read. Fair enough. Sean for $20 says, Andrew, take the hat off and get the Superman curl going. It's naturally like that. I'm sure that Reeves had some Irish and English in him. Haley in for $5 says, my first
Andrew without his hat on the other day for the first time. That was crazy. That was wild. He was imitating Destiny, the streamer dude. He was like imitating him and he took his hat off, and yeah, it was a sight. It was like when Kenny takes his hood off, kind of like in South Park, but definitely not as good. Not as good.
First live here. Rachel's been so kind and helpful to me on X. Glad to support. Glad that you were here. Spyro Floropolis for $20 Canadian says, got a real, not Photoshop JPEG of myself hanging out with Satan and shared a brewski. He told me occult feminism was his idea. The JPEG proves it. Trust me, bro.
This.
Just look up my properties. You'll see I own a lot in hell. Okay, fair enough. JM for $5 says she should have waited until Mars was in retrograde to have this debate. She seems out of alignment.
Oh god.
Didn't know if you wanted to respond to the astrology of the question.
I'm not like astrology is probably cool. I don't really know that much about it, but I do believe in it. Hold on, let me let Andrew say his thing, like for spell casting.
Yeah, I also generally tend to believe in things I don't know anything about.
What I meant is like I don't know. I don't look into like astrology shit. Like I'm not looking into like the Mars is in retrograde, so this is retrograde, so this is happening, or like I'm gonna
feel like this because we're in Aquarius right now or something. I don't look into all of that, but you do use like the planet alignment and like the solar system to in like witchcraft and magic and stuff, like all that you look into, like, so like all the planets are associated with certain elements and things like that. So that's what I meant, is I use them, but I don't like look into astrology, like zodiac stuff. I don't know. This stuff probably doesn't make sense to any of you guys, so that's what I meant. But Andrew had a smart comeback. A little smart aleck combat. Smart aleck? Smart. A wise comeback there.
Barbara for 5 Crucible memberships. I appreciate that very much. Very kind of you. $20 comes in from Steve, who says, "Hail to the king, hail to the queen." Groovy. This is a reference to Bruce Campbell back there, who wrote a great book called If Chins Could Kill. Somebody in the chat referenced this because they thought you also, Jayne, had a killer chin. I guess this is what they said. $5 comes in from James Maroney, who says, "Make the Inquisition great again." Kind of funny. $10 comes in from Zesty Ash, who says, "Someone fell asleep during history class and it shows." I don't know this sound, what that's about, and I don't know who this is referencing exactly. I'm not really sure, but thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. $10 comes in from Shifty McVeigh, who says, "Andrew, get someone that's the same tier as Rachel. This girl is not a master debater at all." Nice play on words, by the way. Zesty Ash for $10 says, "Sure, love who you love, I guess, but the problem is you're forcing in our churches. That's the issue. You're infringing on our beliefs as Christians just for the sake of inclusivity." I didn't know if you wanted to respond to that.
We're not forcing anybody in the church to love certain people or to not love certain people, so I disagree.
Let me ask you a question about this, like a genuine curiosity question. Let us assume for a moment that you had a big pagan Wiccan church, okay? And I was like an evil oil baron who just was really upset that these chicks with flowers in their hair would go dancing in fields at night, and I would just seethe about it. I'd be up in my big oil baron castle and be like, "I hate it that these women are having all of this fun." But I couldn't get the town council to shut it down with my evil oil baron money. So instead, I went to the Church of Wicca and bribed your elders to shut the church down. Would you say that I was interfering with your religion?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens with the LGBTQ community and their outreach programs to Christian churches. I just want to let.
And I don't think the LGBTQ whatever community should be interfering with Christian churches. And I don't think Christian churches should be interfering with LGBTQ relationships and marriages. I also don't know why the elders or whatever, the owners of these churches, are being what did you say?
A big oil baron castle and be like, "I hate your elders to shut the church down." Would you say that I was interfering to shut it down with my? I'd be up and I went to the Church of Wicca and bribed your elders to shut the church down. Would you say that I was interfering with your religion?
I don't know why these Christian elders or these church elders, church owners, whatever, are being bribed by anybody to change their standards. I think that's pretty corrupt. So I'd have a look on the inside, if anything, if that's happening. I don't know if that's like, honestly, I'd probably have more of a problem with the people on the inside who are being bribed to corrupt their own beliefs and their own values, rather than the people who are trying to infiltrate. Like, yeah, you can focus on them too, but the people who are getting bribed on the inside, I think that's like a bigger problem.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens with the LGBTQ community and their outreach programs to Christian churches. I just want to let you know.
Well, yeah, I don't think that LGBTQ should be forcing their beliefs on churches, and I don't think churches should be forcing their beliefs on others.
Yeah, I get it. But to her question, when she said you're infringing on the beliefs of Christians just for the sake of inclusivity, she's making a reference to that point of the massive bribery and the stuff which is happening on the ground from progressive think tanks, which are trying to interfere with the free practice of the Christian religion. That's what's being referenced, right?
Well, why are those church elders allowing that bribery then?
Well, who cares? They would interfere with religion by your logic, right?
Those specific people, yeah, and pushing your logic onto anybody else is bad,
Okay.
Whoever it is, yeah.
Got it. Steve for $20 says, "Go Steve, please explain why it's weird." I don't know what he's referencing,
Like
but
a
I guess
He
Probably the
means the
lesbian-
lesbian sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, like that guy said, it's just innately, it's apparently there's some neurological science behind it of there's something wrong with you. I don't have any siblings, so, but I just feel like everybody knows that's not normal or natural.
Okay. Manny Fresh for $20 says, question, how is paganism more moral than Christianity when it led to pro R-word baby killing cultures like the Phoenicians, and Christianity led to natural law?
I'm pretty sure Christians have killed lots of people as well. So again, it's about progress. It's about advancing society to better, less like uncivilized and primal. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why we keep looking back at these ancient historical societies, like, and saying like, oh, well, pagans used to be like this, as if Christians have like no blood on their hands and they've never done anything wrong, like historically. Like, they've done some fucked up shit too. Everybody has some fucked up shit. The thing is, like, we're not living in ancient times anymore. We're in modern times. We've progressed out of these times. But Rachel wants to regress back to the old days where men rule just because they're stronger. Even though that's not actually how they rule, because there's a hierarchy, so it's really just the elite men rule, even if they're not stronger. So her arguments don't even map out worlds.
Do you think that if you went to your pagan ancestors and told them that you believed in female empowerment and egalitarianism, that they would suffer you to live?
I have no idea.
What do you think? Do you think that if you went to like a Viking village and you were like, women deserve equality and egalitarianism?
They would probably R-word me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you're the bad pagans. The good pagans didn't come along until the 1970s. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and guess what? If I did that and I went back to a Christian society, I would get burned at a freaking stake. So what's the difference?
That's fair. Well, but hang on. Do you think if I went 1,500 years ago into a Christian church, though, and declared my faith in Jesus Christ and the principles of the Bible, that they would do anything bad to me?
If you went to a Protestant place, or you went to a
Catholic 1,500 years ago, there was no Protestant place.
So. But if there was, how is that an equivalent, though?
I'm just saying, if you went back with your current Wiccan beliefs to your original pagan ancestry, and you think that they would R-word you.
Oh, so
if I went back with the same values that they had, the same values I have right now, 1,500 years ago, into the church, they would do nothing to me. That seems odd, right?
They might chastise you, but that's about it. They wouldn't R-word you.
I don't even think they'd get mad that I smoked.
Well, I couldn't go back to a Christian church back then and say anything, right? I probably couldn't even go to a church as a woman.
I think you
could
go to churches.
Of course you could.
Stuff, but yeah.
You think women didn't go to church? You think Christian women weren't allowed to go to church 1,500 years ago?
Well, they weren't allowed to speak in church, right? Or like say much, like
they weren't allowed to teach over men or be preachers or priests or anything. No, but they went to church.
For sure,
they were saints. We had female.
Hang on. Mary Magdalene obviously just shut up and said nothing. Everyone knows that, right? And that there haven't been nunneries and huge amounts of charitable organizations, orphanages, and women's voices in the church since the very beginning. I could definitely see that.
Christianity was the first institution in the world to have a notion of venerating women and treating them well and that sort of thing. That was actually a Christian thing.
The Unconventional Man for $5 says, it depends on how naked he is around the kids.
I sense a little marital tension. That was kind of funny. But I think I got him there, though. I couldn't go back to a pagan society, and I couldn't go back to a Christian society either. And both of them, I'd probably end up, I don't know. And to be fair, I don't even know like that much about ancient, pagan societies. Honestly, like I guess I should like look up their history. That just like doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It's something I haven't looked into. It would be cool because I do like history. I should look it up, but I'm more worried about like right now, you know what I mean? But it's good to know history and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, things that happened in the past doesn't dictate whether or not something is good today, or like how it acts today. Because again, if we looked at Christianity or just literally every single civilization on Earth, we all had pretty barbaric and uncivilized like ruling and ways of living back then, and we've progressed. So what matters is how Christians, pagans, Muslims, whoever act today.
Well, otherwise we would just say everything is wrong. Every way of living is just terrible and evil because they've done terrible, evil things in the past. And so,
Did you want to respond to that?
it depends what kind, not how naked he is. It depends how he is being naked. I think I explained
his intentions for it's back to the intentions, right?
I don't
You're just like, hey,
and again, yeah, I don't see anything wrong.
Kids, Grandpa loves you. It's fine, but
I don't think our natural naked bodies are evil or gross or should be shameful in any way.
You know what? I think that's fine. Let me just test it real quick, if you don't mind. Just a very fast test on this logic.
Okay.
If a grandfather wanted to sleep naked with his granddaughter,
Invasion of personal space, invasion of personal privacy. It's also just inappropriate. Done.
and had no intention of doing anything with her, is that acceptable to you?
No, that's an invasion.
Well, I don't
of privacy.
understand. I thought it was all about the intent.
No, because first of all, they're a minor, and second of all, it's an invasion of privacy.
Let's say she's 18, or she's in a country where she's 16, but that's not considered a minor.
Again, that's going to be family, and yeah.
Yeah, but he has no intention of doing anything with her.
What about Dad's friend? Can Dad's naked friend sleep with her?
There's still an appropriateness level, but I don't think just like being naked in general and seeing someone's naked body. If you're pushing your naked body onto unwilling or minor participants, then yeah, that's obviously bad.
That's super weird. If you can just show your naked body to all of the children who are around you because your intention isn't to do anything with them, why couldn't you sleep in a bed naked with those same children? I don't get that. Can you explain that?
And it's so different. That's like what would be the equivalent to that? That would be like I go to that would be like, just because I go to the same grocery store as somebody else doesn't mean I would let anybody in that grocery store sleep in my bed with me. Just because I'm outside in public with them doesn't mean that sleeping in a bed with them, even if their intentions are not to do anything harmful to me, is inappropriate. Or just, it's not an equivalent. Do you make a distinction between the actions of individual Christians and the actual doctrine? The doctrine calls for none of the barbarity associated with it. Yeah, and so does like Wiccan and paganism too. Like, that's why I said, like, any of these witches who are putting like spells on people, or saying that any Wiccan or any pagan who says that men, we need to take power away from men and rule over men and destroy men, that's not actually true to pagan and Wiccan beliefs. So yeah, I definitely differentiate individuals from the actual doctrine, and that's why I'm saying we can't just say, like, we can't just dictate all of one like ideology based on the ancient actions of people associated with that ideology. I mean, do we sleep in beds even unnaked with random strangers?
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I don't know if you know this. Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, but it's very, very common for little kids to have things like nightmares and all sorts of things where they go and snooze in their parents' bed, or they are having some sort of security issue or something like this. It's probably one of the most common things on planet Earth, in fact.
Okay, well, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, if your child runs into your bed and you're just wearing, I don't know, I would probably suggest to put on clothes if your child runs into your bed. If you sleep naked, like...
Yeah, that seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Right. Seems reasonable to me, too.
But
I don't understand
really
the extension...
Minors
right, but I don't understand the extension of you could just be naked walking around these people, but somehow sleeping next to them is inappropriate. I don't get...
Like, I don't have kids, but yeah, it's like, it's space. It's like the privacy thing, and yeah, again, they're minors. I just personally consider it inappropriate. And maybe it's honestly not. Like, I don't know. Like, if a mother falls asleep with her child and her shirt is off or something, and it's like a baby, like, is that inappropriate? Is that like really bad for the kid? Is that sexual abuse? Invasion of privacy. It's private.
But they're consenting. They're all consenting.
They're minors.
What if they were only sleeping? What if they were? Well, what's the foot rule? If they're sleeping naked 2 feet away from them and the other one's naked, is that appropriate then? Or
I mean, it's not even necessarily inappropriate. It's just like safer. Like I'm sure
Well,
like there's mothers who
I have a
might
better
lay
question.
with their shirt off with their babies. Like I don't think that's like inappropriate or sexual. I think that's gross to look at that as sexual.
What if we just let the teachers be naked at public school and they like aren't, you know, doing anything inappropriate? They're just being natural. They're just being their naked natural selves in the
Yeah, we'll
It's an
call it naked. We'll call it
inappropriate
naked
setting.
school.
Again, it has to do with children and minors. It's an inappropriate setting. There are still.
Well,
I'm
how
just
about
saying,
in
going to
college? How
places
about
like
nude
the beach
colleges?
or the
I mean,
woods.
Can we do nude colleges then? Is
If
that
there's like
cool?
a beach at the college, like, and everybody's over 18, yeah, sure,
So
but not
nude
going to
could-
classes.
Yeah,
no.
so nude college. Why can't you go to class naked?
Because it's not like you can go to work naked. I'm just saying, like,
It's a
Why not?
professional setting.
But
I
you
don't
can be in
understand
the
what's
yard
the-
naked when kids are walking by.
it's a professional setting. It's a professional setting. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Noah, thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. I appreciate it very much. Very kind of you. Sean sent in $20 and says, the way she wants us to live is hurting other people. It's completely okay to burn an American flag, but if you burn an LGBTQ flag, that's a hate crime, and by law, you're charged.
I don't know why people just like put words in my mouth and make these assumptions. Like, the way she wants us to live is hurting other people. It's okay to burn an American flag. When did I say it was okay to burn an American flag, to be honest? I I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, yeah, it's a symbol. It's like a hateful symbol. It can be offensive. And then he says, if you burn an LGBT flag, that's a hate crime, and you're charged. And by law, you're charged. Again, I don't think that should be a crime to burn an American flag or an LGBTQ flag. I don't know why people just like put words in my fucking mouth.
Okay. Spawn Star, $20 says, oops, she got her. Christianity is very based on paganism. Boom. She will lose this argument 100 times out of 190 times this debate. Just died. I don't know exactly what that's a reference to, but I appreciate the 20. $10 from Shifty McVeigh, who says, just because it's not fun to listen to doesn't mean it's not important to talk about. Rachel's base, the other girl, is negatively affecting me. Say that, well, hang on, that could have been
How dare
done.
you.
Did you do a spell that you would do well in this debate?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because if you did, couldn't you negatively affect the chat, and then wouldn't you owe them compensation?
I don't do spellcasting that affects other people.
And no, that wouldn't.
Okay. Christian sends in $10 says, right, late. Anyway, Rachel, you did great. Look great. Always a fan. Apologies for my...
How I perform doesn't affect other people. It affects how other people react to me, but that's not gonna make a difference. Like, I'm not dictating how they react to me. Like, if I were to do a spell that would be like, everybody who watches this debate is going to agree with me, that would be black magic, and that would be, first of all, super hard to do. Like, I don't even know if, yeah, that's some like intense shit. But no, if you do something, think of it as like meditating. So this is how I think of it. It's like getting into your mind and focusing and putting energy into something. So the more energy you put into something, the more energy you get out of it. So say you want to do really good in school this semester or something. You're going to maybe surround yourself with, so you use the 5 senses, right? Sight, sound, smell, touch. So you'll surround yourself with like senses, herbs, colors, crystals that are all associated with the goal that you have. So maybe it's it could be focus, it could be like things for education, and the more you surround yourself with these things, it all goes back to like your mind state. And there's a lot that goes into it, but you have to like meditate on it, and it's really just focusing your mind on this one goal and this one task, and to the point where it manifests. So it's not this like really crazy like hippity dippity shit. And these things like I believe witchcraft, or I believe medicine is witchcraft. We're using herbs and things from the earth that have certain properties that heal us, right? That's literally what witchcraft is. It's using properties, or it's using things that come from earth and their properties to manifest and make changes in real life. That's all it is. So a lot of it just has to do with your mindset, your mind state, and your focus. Ultimately, when you are debating Rachel Wilson or any other religious person, you're going to be asked what your grounding epistemology is, or how you know your worldview to be true. Yeah. It's like a philosophical, moral. It's all tied in with religion and all that.
Overly verbose post on X last weekend. Promise not to prattle again. Small fry for $10 says, Rachel, is there a modern nation that you think has the right amount of on the books patriarchy? I love debates on this.
I don't mind being asked that. I like being asked that. What I don't like is when people assume things, and when people say, oh, she's fine with people burning the American flag, but if someone were to burn the gay pride flag, then she believes that they should be charged by law, because I don't believe that.
I don't know if there's a country that has the right amount of on the books patriarchy. That's tough because I'm not, like, I couldn't tell you, what the laws are in like Nigeria or somewhere like that. Like maybe, but I probably don't know. I think culturally there are places that are more patriarchal that are doing better. I mean, for instance, parts of Africa are the only places where the birth rate is still above replacement, and they tend to be more patriarchal and less homosexual. So.
Ryan Landis for 5 crucial membership. Appreciate that very much. Jane Snyder for $10. Andrew, you might spend a royalty on boom booms, but you and I both know that you married way above your station. I'm about to send her some coffee money. Don't spend it on your boom boom sticks. Yeah, I'm going to do that, bro. Sorry. All of Rachel's money is confiscated by the patriarchy in order to feed my completely and totally unnecessary drive to own more boom boom sticks. Justin
I like
Henley,
the boom boom sticks too. So
Justin Henley for $10 says, fucking Andrew and his dungeon prattle. That seems totally fair, I must admit. Brother Strange Loves for $10 says, which, do you know where I can get like a smoothie around here?
Wow.
Come on, that was funny. It was funny. Like pray to Morgoth for a sense of humor or something, right? That was funny. That was funny.
It's funny. It's funny.
Agent Jeremy for $20 says, so artificial wombs and sex robots. So in the future, we will need women for what exactly?
Have fun with your sex robots. Let me know how far they get you.
Okay. We'll need heart for $10 Australian says Jane. Do you believe we are handed a blank slate at birth on which we each get to write the rules for our own lives?
I don't know if I would say write the rules, but we write our own story. I don't know. This is very like open-ended.
Okay. Whole bunch of insane prattle from Carolina Girl who sent in just like a slew of I don't even understand them super chats. I'd actually like to read whatever the super chats are, Carolina Girl, though I think that you're probably an insane lunatic. I'm happy to read them, but they don't actually make sense. So maybe you can
read one of them just so we can hear the insane.
Okay. Thoughts on Cabbage Patch Dolls? Rachel, I don't hold you all for $10. You can't have him. Let's play. $10 or $15, which says, hey, all B still sees me. Let's play. $10 says, done told you all. You can't have him. $10 says he knows everything. My 2-month anniversary tomorrow. You think I'm giving me free TTS? I know he will. Let's play. $5 says, read them beta, bitch. B already knows. Y'all can't have him. You fucked up. He still sees me. I mean, it's just like.
Schizo prattle.
Yeah, it's literally fucking schizo prattle. I don't like. Maybe
part of
it would
that
say.
was like, let's play. You can't have him. Let's play. Like, what does that mean? That shit's crazy. That was so weird.
Give you a lot of money,
That's
Carolina
so
Girl.
creepy.
If you would
That's
just take,
Chucky
for like,
shit.
you could just do one $5 chat and just put an entire thought in the chat, and then I can read the thought, and it would be coherent. And then,
or you could ask a question and then.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah.
But
well, this was the lady who has called in before to challenge Andrew on feminism, and she was. People thought she might have been on a substance at the time she called in, so I don't know what's going on with her, but she should. Well, let's pray for her because
$10 okay. Comes in from Wilhelm Bones. No message entered. Just wanted to show support for the stream. Very kind of you. $10 from Care making fun of me for butchering her name. It says for the patriarchy. $10. Another $10 from Care who says for Rachel, but she's only entitled to have 84%. I feel that that's far too much, but I do appreciate it. A whole bunch more prattle from Carolina Girl saying, "Say my name, bitch. You're mine, beta bitch. He saw me from the get. He still sees me. Checkmate." And it just goes on and on and on. She sent like $250 or something like this.
Oh my god. That's crazy. She sent $250.
In $5 and $10 and $15 super chats to go to say this really bizarre shit that I don't actually understand at all. But okay. So $25 from Ryan Calloway says, Andrew, you've been a terrific moderator. Shouldn't be surprised, but I am. Rachel's killing it, like always. And although I hardly disagree with Ghosty, she's doing fairly well in her first debate. Kudos to both ladies. Well, just so you know, this was not a matchup that I determined. Ghosty reached out to me to set this up. That's why I did. So,
thank you. Yeah. Again, I saw a short and commented on it because I had just saw a Mitch Horowitz video about the occult in early America and how it correlated with feminism and how it grew together. And then I saw this short that Rachel was talking about her occult feminism book and just totally in my opinion, totally misrepresenting and misportraying the relationship there and how they actually work together. So I commented, I said, fuck it, let's see. And she said, yeah, I'd love to, message Andrew or she said message my husband on Twitter and set something up. So that's what happened.
No problem. So $4.
And I'm very, I thank them for having me on and treating me well and all of that.
From Dogshit Poster 69, who says like democracy, yeah. I don't yeah. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So $10 comes in from me, who is a alternative name for Carolina girl, and she says, "Scared, bitch? You should be. Already told you all in big capital letters. You can't have him." Okay.
Who is it that we can't have? Is she talking about you, or is she talking about
I have no
the
idea.
shadow person next to her?
I don't know.
Carolina girl, tell me who's him. Who's the him we can't have? I gotta
Go
know
with
who
him.
can't have him.
Okay.
Just to make it clear, I don't want him. Just to
another
make that
$10
clear.
comes in and says, "You all can't have him, bitch. Understand? He digs me." For $10.
Okay.
It
Is she
says
talking
you
about
all
Andrew?
can't
I
have
gotta
him,
know
bitch.
if she's talking about Andrew.
He digs me. That's yeah.
Okay.
So okay. Well,
Oh my
fair enough. He digs you. And I don't think anybody here wants whoever him is. $10 from GR Gracie. Jayne, you seem like a good kid. Please understand that a lot of us just want you to have lots of kids and give your life meaning. Nothing else matters. Believe me. People in power want nothing more than to have.
My life has meaning though. Like I understand like kids, kids give your life meaning too, but I don't think you need kids to have meaning. And I also think another really important thing to remember is even when you have kids, it's really good to have meaning outside of just your family and your kids. I think a lot of women, and I've talked to women who have children and who have been like at home and stuff, and they feel they get like depressed and they need socialization, they need other purpose, they want to contribute in a part in their communities. It doesn't have to be working, it doesn't have to be a career, it could be anything though. And I think that's really healthy for women to understand. You don't and to understand that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be full-blown career and career woman and like no children, or just like stay-at-home mom and your whole life is children and you don't have anything else. I think again, balance is like everything. Balance is the key to life. And I think that if you really want to be like the best loving mother and wife, you want to take care of yourself too. And in order to be there fully for your family and your children and everything, you do have to take care of yourself and do things that fulfill you so you're not depressed and miserable and things like that. And I think a lot of women just kind of, they love their kids and everything. Of course, like it doesn't take away from that. But to have something just for yourself that you like to do, that makes you happy, that you're interested in, that you are creating or contributing to or doing, being a part of, I just think that's super important for women, for everybody. But I think that's important for mothers to understand too. I just think a lot of women, or a lot of mothers specifically, live vicariously through their children, and I don't think that's healthy at all. I think that's like very borderline abusive, to be honest.
Have you expire childless?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have kids, probably within the next couple of years.
Gotcha.
I feel I have meaning in my life, so I feel pretty happy. But yeah, I have nothing against. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I appreciate, like, up until I went to elementary school, I appreciate that. I would like to do the same if possible. I have nothing against stay-at-home moms, motherhood, anything like that.
Gotcha. $100 massive dono chat comes in from Tim Cognito. Great show, guys. I lost my faith many years ago, but he's been calling lately. Well, I appreciate it. He called you to send me $100 as well. But I'm glad it's helpful to you. I understand tons of people really enjoy these debates, and we're always happy to put them on. And of course, we always thank the interlocutors. So hang on, there's a few more here. XL Self says, "You, femist, go to the sandwich and make me a..."
Agreed. Kids are wonderful and beautiful, but your life can absolutely have meaning absent of them or in tandem with them. Yeah. I just think that's really important to understand that you can have kids and your kids, like, are your meaning and your purpose and your drive in life, but you still have to pay attention and focus on what makes, you know, you too. Like, you know, your kids aren't just you. Like, you have to be an individual yourself and fulfill, you know, your own desires and things. On a personal note, I do think you would be a great mom, though. Thanks. I think I would be a good mother, too. I do. You know, and I'm like, I want kids. I want kids. It's something where it's like, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't be totally devastated. If I had kids, that would be cool. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's funny. I see I catch the time at 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4, like almost every day for like years now. But yeah, I would like to be a mother one day. And I do think I'd be good at it.
Kitchen. I took 5 tabs
Thank
of Lucy and the most coherent here.
We got some wild people are partying hard on a Saturday night.
They're going ham. Maybe there's no church in the morning for many of them. Chef Kamesy says, yeah, sounds like she's a lot of fun after a few drinks. Okay. Project Viopod says, love the debate between your black ex-wife and Ghosty. She's a better debater than Rachel. W. Andrew F.
Okay, this part I'll say, like, again, nothing against the Wilsons. I'm grateful they had me on their show. But this part kind of weirded me out.
KBO. Yeah, I think maybe a few in there as well. Merlin Summer for $5 says, saying a prayer for the guest tonight. I used to be a witch, and I see.
Wait, did I skip over it?
Yes, I think maybe a few in there as well.
Oh, no,
Merlin Summer
later.
for $5 says, saying a prayer
mind.
for the guest tonight. I used to be a witch, and I see the good in her. Only God can make a person see divine truth. Appreciate that. So Kara says, great stream. Enjoyed as always. Props for Jayne for stepping up, even with being green. She isn't as annoying as Nina. I'll give her that. She's not.
Nina's so much worse.
I don't know who Nina is.
Nathan Slippery for $5 says, Carolina girl is Andrew's black ex-wife. Okay.
I just said to Andrew the other day, you guys are making the black ex-wife meme so real that she's starting to become an actual person in my head. And I almost feel bad for stealing Andrew from her.
Yeah.
Like, that blew my mind. She feels bad for stealing Andrew from her? I don't know. That just kind of blew my mind. I was like, that's kind of messed up. Like, I know she's kind of kidding, but like, oh man. I don't know. That just rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
Yeah, from my fictitious
life meme so real that she's
is Andrew's black ex-wife.
I just said to Andrew the other day, you guys are making the black ex-wife meme so real that she's starting to become an actual person in my head. And I almost feel bad for stealing Andrew from her.
Yeah, from my fictitious, never existed, but I guess existed black ex-wife. Justin Henley says, for real though, if you ever want to play D&D, I know a good DM. It's me. I am the DM. I don't know. This seems rather simpish to me, this chat, if it's directed at Jayne, and if it's directed not at Jayne, but to me, I'm just going to say you're a fucking nerd. John Mondragoran for $5 says, Ling, so mad. She no love me long time. Okay, fair enough. Is Carolina girl referencing Bruce Campbell? I'll fight her for him. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe she's referencing Bruce Campbell. Yeah, that could be it. Bruce Campbell loves her. So that's totally fair. All right, guys, we got through all of the dono chats. I'm just going to double check and make sure. Oh, wait, one came in. Tom from antiprohibit.org says drug prohibition has obviously worked, seeing as everyone here is all fucked up. It's kind of funny. Anyway, appreciate it very much. Ghosty, before you go, why don't you take a moment, shout out your channel, tell everybody where they can find more of your content.
Okay, sure. I'm on YouTube and X as Ghosty. The G is spelled with a 6 and it's spelled with 2 I's, so it's 6HOSTII on YouTube and X. I'll be on Wick's channel at 6:30 for another debate if you want to catch me there. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it almost sounded like, you ever see the South Park where the chick is, I'm a classy, right? I'm classy with a, what is it? Is it classy with a cat? I don't remember what it is.
I've seen
she's
so
like,
South
where the
Park,
little thing wraps over and it does it sounded like the classy
Okay,
explanation for the name. But anyway, Rachel, go ahead when you're ready.
I am Rachel Wilson. You can find me on my little YouTube channel, which is just Rachel Wilson. You can find me here on the Crucible, hopefully doing more debates soon. And you can buy my book on Amazon, or you can go read a bunch of my other writing on my Substack. It's rwilson.substack.com.
All right. Thank you both for coming tonight. Have a good evening. Well, we got out of here at a decent time.
Okay, so this is what Thank you. Okay, my bad. I clicked that by accident. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna end it. I just want to do a short little stream tonight and just finish part 2. And then coming up, I think I'm gonna react to the Ken Ham versus Bill Nye debate. Ken Ham was the like young Earth creationist dude. It's a funny debate, and it's kind of on this theme, kind of on the whole like religious topic still. So something I've been wanting to cover. So my next stream, I will probably be talking about that unless I change my mind. So yeah, but we're at the 2-hour mark, so I think I'm just gonna end it out here. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being here again. Like the video, consider subscribing, all of that good stuff, and I hope you guys have a good night. I'll catch you on the flip side or something. I don't know. I need to come up with like a cool, catchy outro. Are you gonna monetize your channel or put up some link to support it? I can't monetize it yet. So maybe I'll start something though. That'd be cool. Once I can monetize it, I will. But yeah, thank you for asking. I will consider looking into that. Have a good night, guys. Bye.